Hey everybody, and welcome back to Kerbal Space Program RP-0. We are finally rejoining the SKS shuttle and its crew here in low Earth orbit, where our contract has glitched. We're at the requirements. We have the required crew. Haven't stayed here for 11 days. It's only been 5, but our counter is not running either because it doesn't think that we launched a new vessel, which is odd, to say the least. But I don't know. Some of these contracts just don't work very well sometimes, so we might cheat this one into existence, but I'm at least going to pay attention to the 11-day rule, so we're going to focus here on Earth and time warp until this mission counter says that we've been in orbit for 11 days as per the actual requirement, even though it's not counting. I've reloaded the save. I've made sure this is the first thing I did when I jumped out or when I came into the game, and it doesn't want to do it, which upsets me greatly. But I don't know, worse things have happened, but I am going to play it by the books and stay here for 11 days, and then we'll decide what to do about making sure we get paid for this later. So we'll just time warp through about 11 days or so, just so we can pretend to be honest about this contract that's just not going to fulfill itself anyway. But we might force complete depending on our financial situation. Actually, we definitely will. And there it is. Our total mission timer is more than 11 days. Of course, this doesn't seem to care. Whichever. And our flight path takes us nowhere near Cape Canaveral. Obviously. That would just be entirely too easy. So we're probably going to wait at least another half orbit or so. We'll just it'll probably be when Cape Canaveral's over here somewhere, so we'll just let this take a few more orbits and then try to put this thing down on a runway. I hope, anyway. They've got plenty of life support, plenty of supplies. They can certainly sit up here for a whole lot longer. I'd really like to do this during the day. Just, reasons. Alright, we'll kill it there. That looks to be deflectable enough, considering it's going to shift quite a bit. We are here basically right over the Atlantic. We need to plot our node for our reentry. Add maneuver. Now, based on how this worked last time, when we came down across the poles, the periapsis was set here somewhere in the Midwest, and we ended up in Mexico. So we're going to try to get our periapsis. Yeah, that might be a bit far, but we are going to set it relatively high. We are coming in a little heavy. So maybe we'll just tune it here, Mexico, because that's actually going to be over here by that time. Oop, way too low. We need to set it at about 50-ish kilometers, 57. We'll go with that. That looks good. That is in 36 minutes, 70.8 meters per second of correction. And we'll have some very frantic work to do once we are on suborbital trajectory. Namely, we are going to eject this tank. It's, kind of spent, but it did its purpose. We were able to refuel our HD3 upper stage to move Tremonia out to the moon. That all went extraordinarily well. We still have lots of liquid hydrogen, liquid oxygen here in this, and considering we're going to be using those fuel cells, probably just transfer over whatever we can. Fantastic. We'll probably do another touch-up on that before we make our maneuver, or before we eject the refueling canister, I should say, let it burn up in the atmosphere. Alright, 35 minutes to kill. Alright, we're a minute 19 out. That should be more than adequate. Let's just ullage in. We're going to use computer assist because I'm lazy today. And ignition. An incredibly low TWR means it will just speed this burn up in post, now that I actually remember to aim above the node, thanks to engine offset. That's just never going to become habit, and I should just give it up. Alright, 53 kilometers, good enough. Let's close that off, and now it's time to do our very frantic maneuvering things. Out. Alright, that's done. Let's go ahead and eject this. Decouple node. Pull ourselves away just a little bit. Alright, there it is leaving the bay. Good enough. Alright, let's get our pilot, Alice, EVA. You got some work to do. Because that was the most efficient angle to be at, obviously. Grab. Board. Fantastic. Alright, let's take these panels in. We're not going to need them anymore anyway. We have both fuel cells operating currently. Which, come on. There we go. Retract. Alright, we need to get this thing in the bay very quickly. Let's make sure it's got fuel on board. There we go. I'll unlock that. Oh, well, that one's empty. That should not matter, I hope. What else? Yeah, we've got an antenna here that needs to be deactivated. We can nuzzle this thing inside the cargo bay. Alright, undock. Switch vessels. RCS. Nope, not this vessel. This vessel. RCS. Stability control. Control from here. Set target. Not one of my prouder moments in docking history, but I was quite tired and kind of in a rush, wanting to get this episode to completion so that I could get it all out on time. Mistakes were made. It's a bit low. Just a little bit. But we will eventually back ourselves off. The thruster placement on this is just a little wonky. Not nearly as wonky as it is with the docking adapter attached to it, but that doesn't mean we won't scrape some paint here on the inside of the bay before almost getting ourselves lined up and eventually bringing it home for a hard dock. Docked. Nailed it. Sorta. Alright. Alice, EVA, please. We need to get you back inside the main shuttlecraft. Grab. Oh, come on. There you go. Good job. Board. Alright, Bill. EVA, sir. You got work to do. Inventory. Equip. Obviously the best angle to choose. Bill is now our resident expert in strutting things, seeing as how he did such a fantastic job with Tremonia Station and making that superstructure so rigid that even an HG3 couldn't break it. He has been tasked now to secure the cargo inside the bay here using these KS struts. We're going to go with 3 sets just to make sure that it is not putting undue stress on the docking adapter, which I think is actually a weak link here, and might tend to shift around a bit, but it could be that over-rigidifying this structure is going to give us problems later on. But with that done, we will get him back inside and continue on. Alright, cargo is secure-ish. Grab. Don't you? Nope. Good job. Good job. Board. Perfect. All right, we're going to do a little bit of balancing. And a little bit of supply dumping. Alright, we don't need these two tanks to maintain stability anymore, so we're going to transfer them into the main aft tank. Perfect. This tank is full. We'll actually open that up so thrusters will pull from it. And we can probably, well, we will leave that for balance or for ballast as we need it going through reentry. We can go ahead and close up our cargo bay doors. Take a quick save. Alright, we are good to go. Our telemetry looks pretty solid. We're coming in during the day. Hopefully we'll be able to stretch that out to hit Cape Canaveral, but this thing has the glide slope of champions, so I don't think it'll be a problem. But here goes nothing. Alright, let's bring our nose up. Oh, that's a really cool angle on our drop tank there. Kind of barely in the atmosphere. You can only see it from this angle, mostly. Oh, wow. We'll spend just a few minutes admiring our orbital sunrise as we try to get our nose up to prepare for our re-entry into Earth's atmosphere. We'll just kick it over to a little bit of sped up footage. That does make the rotation seem to go a whole lot better. Translate out to the map for just a few seconds. Double check our telemetry and see whereabouts we think we're going to come down. Now, I haven't done it yet, but I will be opening up Atmospheric Autopilot to handle the vast majority of this descent because I was very tired and feeling very lazy. There's a nice view of our jettisoned cargo out there ahead of us above the left wing, now sinking below it so that we can't see it. I was hoping to be able to watch it burn up in the atmosphere, however, I would not be quite so lucky, although you'll probably note the camera will fly around looking for it at some point eventually. Shuttle does hold its angle pretty well. I did open up a aft and the cockpit fuel tanks. There you can hear the explosions of our jettisoned cargo being exposed to too much heat and destroying themselves on the way in, just as intended. No debris will fall down to Earth. But yes, I brought up these fuel levels so that I can adjust ballast as need be. We want a little more towards the rear at times when we want to keep the nose up, and a little more forward when it comes time to get some aerodynamic stability. A little bit of a tail wiggle there. I think that we might have a little too much weight in the forward section of the cargo bay. I did not bother to find out how much this capsule that we're bringing back weighs, considering it went up on a Shuriken Mark III or so very early on. We pretty much emptied it out. I figured it has to be below our 15-ton threshold, and that shouldn't really pose a problem. I've now turned the bulk majority of the control over to atmospheric autopilot, which has keeping us at a fairly even nose-up configuration, although not as much nose-up as I'd like, or not nearly as much nose-up as I think this spacecraft can handle. But overheat warnings on thrusters are completely normal. I will take manual control for a second or two here and try to get our nose a little further up so that we can introduce a nice skip. I think we are looking to fall quite a bit short of our intended Cape Canaveral landing zone, which worries me a little bit, but I have no problem trading in some of this speed for another hop through the upper atmosphere. Because, yeah, we're way out in the middle of the Pacific. We have a long way to glide before we're anywhere near a safe landing zone, so I think I may have shot myself in the foot with this one. Just a little. But this thing is an expert glider, as we've all seen, and maybe we have the cross-range capability to get there, although I kind of doubt it. I was certainly having my doubts at this point in the reentry, as we are starting to dive a little deeper into the atmosphere. We've gotten down to about 55 kilometers on this bounce. Of course, we'll be going back up. A nice little view from the cockpit. Everybody is happy and having a very good time, enjoying the view from the windows. And now it looks like we're about to make landfall. We are still definitely cooking speeds in excess of 4 kilometers per second, and there is the Gulf of California. I still wish we had a little bit more speed as we're crossing into the 3.8 some odd kilometers per second range. So I can say with confidence at this point that my dreams of a runway landing for this mission are certainly dashed. Now, I did think at some point that if I could switch out to the tracking station and switch our active launch site to Brownsville, we would certainly be in range to hit that, and I think we would almost have the cross-range capability to get there if we started making the turn now to now-ish. But I didn't really want to leave the vessel, go back to the space center, and then try to switch launch sites. It's probably something that should be done before you make your reentry burn. Definitely not after. But then again, if I'd known I was going to fall short, I would have just adjusted the node. No big deal. Anyway, we are coming into atmospheric flight now, so I will turn you over to Old Me, who's going to take you in live. I think the dreams of getting to Florida are a bit far-fetched. But I think we're going to try to put this down somewhere near Brownsville, and maybe we can recoup a big chunk of money by switching our launch site once the crew is safely on the ground. So we are, yeah, we're going to kill the master switch. Ooh, hey. There. Whoa, buddy. Okay. You're going to be extra touchy today? That's fine. You go right on ahead. Let's pump a little fuel forward. Alright, that seems much more stable. And we need to turn almost entirely southward. So it's going to be kind of a long sloping turn, seeing as how we're still a little bit above Mach 2, I guess. Let's check with FAR, actually, now that we can get legitimate readings on these things. Move stuff out of the way. Yeah, Mach 2.5. No big deal. Everybody's made a Mach 2 hairpin, right? Alright. We'll just try to get this dialed in a little bit. It does not want to turn at this kind of speed or altitude, but we need to preserve. What the hell just... What the hell just happened? Failure on linkage between Mark III cockpit and cargo bay. What? Oh, you've got to be kidding me. Well, it looks like we still have some kind of control. At least a little, perhaps? Oh, God. What the hell just happened? That wasn't even a high G maneuver. Can we straighten out? Come on, roll. No roll? No, I don't think any of our RCS systems are responding at all. What in the hell? Wonder if it's just too much stress from the cargo we were carrying. Because, it's not there now. Unless it's here in the back of the cargo bay. Yeah, no way of telling. Okay, then. Well, this is an alarming dive. Can we... Okay, we do have some RCS control. So we're still connected by something. Get the gear out. Only the fronts. Yeah, apparently we are not connected to the back, but yet we still have control. That's extra interesting. Alright, can we make it to water? I doubt it. What in the... I think atmospheric autopilot is still in control here. Okay. Thank God. We can get the rest of the gear out. Maybe we don't need to land in water. This is the part with the crew. Come on, baby. Just gonna get in nice and low and then pull back on the stick. Is that a runway ahead of us? It is. We're totally gonna overshoot that. We'll need way more time to bleed off speed than what that is going to afford. Looks like brakes are on. How are our indicators? Yep, brake indicators across the board. Roll control is not responding. Oh God. Alright, come on, Alice, you got this. 3 kilometers altitude. Bring it up, bring it up, bring it up. Gently, gently, gently. We need to bleed some speed here. Falling. Even nose down gets us to nose up. That is interesting. Let's just let it slide itself. Let it slide that nose down. We'll just have to do a suicide pull-up. I hope we have a clear spot to land. Well, FAR, you can go away. You have cursed us. Oh, God. Oh, boy, oh, boy. 1.4 kilometers altitude. It's not quite so rapidly, please. 1 kilometer. No hills, no hills, no hills. 600 meters. Alright. Bring that nose up, Alice. 300 meters. We're still way too fast. 200 meters. $150. Come on, roll control, you can do it. Alright, 122 meters. Speed is acceptable. Really, the slower we can get, the better. On 85 meters. Meters per second. Keep bleeding it. Come on. You got this, Alice. You can do it. You can do it. 35 meters. 20 meters. Bring it back. Slow it down. Rear gear. Front gear. It's holding. Ah. Explosions. This stopped. Oh, holy crap. Oh, the crew's down, they're safe. We're leaking parts, it looks like. There's 2 thrusters that have hit the ground. We're gonna hit recover before this does anything else stupid. Yeah, 35,000 for 80%, but I don't think this is the entire vessel. I think that's just the cabin. All 3 crew safe and alive. Nice work, Alice. Hooah. Well, I think we're going to have to reevaluate how capable this vehicle is on bringing things back from orbit, because that was absolutely terrifying and something that I've never seen happen before, not even in test runs. So there's that. I'm going to go collect the rest of the vehicle, but I think that's going to do it for this episode, everybody. Thank you so much for hanging out. I really do appreciate it. And I'll see all of you in the next one. So until then, see you later.